It's been an exciting week of soccer in America's heartland, and it all comes to an end here today at the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championship for the U19 girls. Good morning, everyone, from the Shields Overland Park Soccer Complex in Overland Park, Kansas. Alongside the coach Nate Hauser, I'm Ryan Sudol, and coach for both these teams coming off almost identical semifinals yesterday. For Lou Fusz, they concede a goal in the 88th minute to force extra time. For Celtic, giving up 2 goals in the final 10 to also force extra time. Both teams, though, lucky to come out and win the game after extra time and penalty kicks.
Absolutely. You're hoping that they've learned to finish the game. They're going to take the lessons from yesterday, and one of them is going to be able to get over the finish line here before we go to the dreaded penalty kick.
And some players to watch. First on the Celtic side of the ball will be Samantha Brady, the committed University of Minnesota Golden Gopher, looking to get a golden boot, already with 4 goals in this tournament. And on the other side of the ball, it is Janie Totleben for Lou Fusz, also with 4 goals. It'll be 2 players to keep an eye on at that attacking position. Coming up next, it is Lou Fusz taking on Celtic here at the Shields Overland Park Soccer Complex. Welcome back to the Shields Overland Park Soccer Complex. Moments away from kickoff. We have Celtic FC out of Orem, Utah, wearing their black jerseys, white numerals. They will attack from left to right on your screen to start. For Lou Fusz, wearing their white jerseys, dark outlined numerals, and attacking from right to left. These teams played to a scoreless draw against each other on Wednesday. They will look to redeem that here. Your officials for today's match: center official Megan Mullen, AR1 Emily Gomez, AR2 Shanna Forstel, and Brad Snow, your 4th official. Pre-game, coach, we were talking a little bit about the eye test. You take a look at the Celtic FC team, a little more composed in their pre-game rituals as far as celebrations. Lou Fusz on the other side of the ball, though, very energetic, some organized chants, trying to work their team up to get ready to play for this championship.
I think we're running into one team that's going to try to possess it in Celtic out of Utah, and I think Lou Fusz is going to be living in the counterattack, hence the emotion and the get after it kind of go.
And Celtic will start with possession. Again, they had a 3-1 lead in the 80th minute yesterday before conceding 2, including 1 in the 93rd minute to send them to extra time. They were able to outlast their opponent from Minnesota. Now they work their way into the 18. That is Abigail Graham, one of their strikers. And in these first early minutes, coach, usually we do see that kind of feeling out to see how teams are going to prepare for each other's attack. Both teams coming in planning to run a 4-3-3 today, but right now Celtic trying to get that early attack going.
Yeah, it looks like Lou Fusz, when they're going to defend, are going to try to leave their 7 up high with their 9, but they're going to defend with 8 and their keeper for sure. And it's really going to be interesting how Celtic deals with those 2 outliers that kind of demand that they pay attention.
As now we see Celtic, they will work it back to their keeper, the only keeper on their roster in Chelsea Peterson, committed to go to Utah and play soccer. A lot of D1 commitments between both sides, as well as D2 NAIA. Their possession being traded.
Should be a high quality of player. Individually, they should be all right. Again, it'll be interesting to see the second bite of the apple for both teams. Where do they try to pressure? Because both seem to be able to score goals against their other opponents.
One thing also not talked about, the surface here at the Shields Overland Park Soccer Complex is that artificial turf with the rubber shavings. A lot of teams do practice on natural grass, and we got a chance to talk to the head coach for Lou Fusz Elam before, saying that they in fact do have 8 artificial turf fields that they actually get to practice on. So this surface and some of the weird bounces that some soccer players may not be familiar with, very familiar to Lou Fusz.
Yes, the St. Louis players will be really used to the quick play of the turf. I've been out to that complex. It is fantastic and beautiful, and really a mirror of what you see here. So they should be very, very comfortable. I imagine the Utah players have grown into it over the week.
And 4 games in under a week, so especially with the 120-minute games for both these teams yesterday, not just the physical exhaustion, but also the mental wear down, that hopefully they'll be holding a trophy at the end of today's game.
Well, I think both coaches have seen that mental and emotional strength fray a little bit at the end of games. So I imagine there were a lot of team talks about togetherness, about being strong mentally and emotionally together and fighting the fight.
That one put up out of play just past the touchline. And there you see the center official, Megan Mullen. Beautiful weather here in Kansas today, although a little gusty coming out of the north, blowing right to left on your screen. That some attempts at some long shots from outside of the box may very well be affected, and especially going the other way in the opponent's face as well.
Absolutely. You notice both teams have really put up a block of defenders around their box. Maybe some shots from distance would be the way to really open this game up early.
Now the throw-in, that is Mary Evans for Lou Fusz. The throw gets into the box. Bouncing away, dangerous chance, and then finally cleared outside of the 18 for Celtic. Pressure coming. Mary Evans gets that cross. Again, the wind blowing directly towards this Celtic goal. Little too much contact in the 18 at the penalty spot. It'll be a free kick for Celtic.
It's good to see St. Louis getting after the ball, though, right? That's a good foul. If you're a coach, you say, you know what, I'll take that. Challenge everything, especially in the opponent's box as we try to score goals.
Now Peterson dribbling around. No pressure really coming from the Lou Fusz side. That one will track out past touch for another throw for the team from Missouri.
What's really incredible is that both teams have an incredible fan base that are here. Lou Fusz with several teams across both the men and the women here, and then this group from Utah that's been very, very vocal and fantastic.
And you'd expect it only being a few hours away from St. Louis to have a little more of a following there, but the supporters of the Celtic side a little more vocal than that of the Lou Fusz side. And now a dangerous chance for Lou Fusz. And the free kick and the set piece towards the top of the six-headed. And saved by Chelsea Peterson. Mackenzie Jones completely unguarded in the 18-yard box, able to get ahead to it, but directly at the keeper.
Lou Fusz did a really good job of getting some motion, getting some people moving on that set piece. If Celtic's going to defend zonally, which I'm not sure they were intending to do, it's going to be a long day.
And now a little contact. It will go. It's being signaled toward Lou Fusz. The foul, I believe, on Tara Warner, the defender for Celtic, committed to BYU. A lot of Utah representation for their collegiate play between Utah State, BYU, and the University of Utah. Another cross. That one skips toward the top of the 18, and unable to get it on the first touch is Jessica Prusser, and sends it over the bar for a goal kick.
You know, even if you have a lot of college freshmen, which it's a dog year, I mean, that is a massive year of growth all the way around as a college freshman between that time as a senior, you still got to have that fight in you. You can't walk into a game like this and think, hey, I'm a college player, this is mine. You're going to have to grind this one out.
Also important to note that with this tournament, a lot of these players are getting ready for their freshman year. So in the back of their heads, Coach, in your experience at a tournament like this, is that something that maybe their fear of possibly getting hurt going into their new school may affect the way that they play today?
I think it may be more a fear of their new coaches that are coming up. I think these women have proven to be pretty fearless in the way that they're playing, especially getting to this point. Oh my.
As Catherine Wynn with the low cross directly in the face of goal, Lou Fusz able to allow that play to build up, and very lucky to still have this be scoreless.
It was a great movement down the right side for the Celtic group. Again, runs in the box and service are going to be telling.
Now Celtic trying to work their way through the center of the pitch. Touched up, that's Jamie Shepard on the ball. Over to her right back, Catherine Wynn.
A sign really in this game of how long will defenders continue to move as the ball moves. If they stop doing that and then just trying to start to close down players who already have the ball, this game's going to really open up quickly.
Tara Warner looking for the cross, headed away. Up Atwater to the top of the 18. Possible chance at a shot, deflects away. And into the arms of the keeper for Lou Fusz.
Celtic really able to find those gaps in the lines. They're camping in there, and they're really asking Lou Fusz, are you going to come, or are you going to let us have it and turn?
And yesterday, Lou Fusz showing some susceptibility, allowing a goal off a corner kick. So they got to be very conscious not to allow that to happen. And now the foul. This one being whistled against Mary Evans for Lou Fusz. The quick restart for Celtic.
As they open up the play, it's really nice to see, even 6 days into this tournament, teams using the whole field, putting the ball down, changing the point of attack, and some dynamic movement, especially by the 7 and 11 players here for Celtic.
Now Shepard finds her striker Pickering. Back to Shepard, they work it around to the corner of the 18. Catherine Wynn joining the attack into the box. Excellent tackle, and now the attempt from distance. That one just missing, skipping off the top netting. What an effort by Celtic. And we talked about the wind. Pretty sure if the wind is going the other way, that one's in the back of the net.
Yeah, that dips in. Again, when you take your chances, if you're going to sit in and sit that deep defensively, a few of these Celtic players can knock a ball when you're playing Russian roulette.
Absolutely excellent effort by Celtic. They look to keep the pressure on now, as Lou Fusz will clear it upfield, giving chase. The forward, Jamie Totleben, committed to play her college soccer at University of Indiana. And a lot of history and success from Indiana University in the Big Ten.
Absolutely. She brings a lot of pride, a lot of composure, a lot of strength.
Lou Fusz looking for an outlet. As right now, at midfield and defense for Celtic, parked firmly in shape. As that one gets away from Courtois, it'll be a throw-in for Celtic.
You see the advantage. The cleaner the players are, the quicker they can move the ball, the spaces are open and available for them.
And this game starting about a half hour after it was originally scheduled due to the men's final, going to added extra time.
A very defensive affair that one was.
Finishing 1-0, and Lehigh Valley able to hoist the U19 men's trophy. Celtic and Lou Fusz looking to do that at the U19 level for the girls.
We'd love to see these girls open up, unlike the men, and have some goals through the run of play. The men very cagey, but it looks like today the ball's on the ground and moving. We may be in for some fun.
Shepard working her way into the 18, trying to find Samantha Brady. Again, tied with Jamie Totleben with 4 goals in this tournament. That one deflects off a Celtic player. The throw will stay with Lou Fusz.
Again, you see Lou Fusz taking their time getting out, definitely leaving 5-6 players behind and saying, hey, we're going to attack and really protect ourselves at the same time.
Pressure coming from the attacking midfielder Samantha Courtois. And talking to their head coach Mike Elam, said definitely going to be one of those players to watch. She did score that second goal for Lou Fusz yesterday that ended up being their security to secure that extra time. They were up 2-1 again in the 88th minute, allowing that last goal to Campton United. But her goal from right around the 18-yard box yesterday helped propel them to victory. Now the shot, and that one gets up and through. It is Anna Pickering, the forward for Celtic, and it is 1-0 for the side from Utah in the 13th minute.
What a fantastic start. We talked about the space in between the lines. The defenders let the 9 get the ball at her feet, turn, great finish with her left foot.
Foot and just out of the outstretched arms of the Lou Fusz keeper. And Celtic FC up 1-0.
Not a lot the keeper could do with that. That was a well-placed finish at the number 90 at the near post. Now we'll find out who came to play.
Something we did not see Lou Fusz do yesterday was having to play from behind, so it'll be interesting to see how they adjust their attack. There's Jessica Preussen. As it dispossessed.
It's interesting to hear the coaches and what feedback they give in these next 5 minutes as players are dealing emotionally with the highs and the lows of scoring and giving a goal up.
There you see the goal scorer Pickering, again, all the way back on defense as well. That one skipped in and booted away. And it will be a throw-in right down by that far corner flag. Throw in. Now the turn. That one towards that 6-yard box and then deflects off Totlieben's leg.
You look for the center backs for Celtic to be a little bit more comfortable on the ball, clearing that out. It looks like that pressure is bothering them a little bit as we get in.
Celtic with that 1-0 lead, however, in the back of their yesterday's result where they were up 3-1 with 10 minutes to go and still ended up needing extra time and penalty kicks to get the victory. They will try to avoid that today and keep or extend this lead.
Well, it's going to be interesting because Lou Fusz has already pushed players back into the midfield. I think they realized they were sitting too deep, and they're really trying to take the game and having a little bit more success.
There we see that high press. Now a chance to counter. Totlieben. Evans toward the top of the 18. That will deflect away. And quickly Pickering looking for her second.
It's amazing how quickly the pace is picked up here. The girls they're covering a lot more ground than they were just 5 minutes ago.
First substitutions coming in for Fusz. We'll have those for you momentarily. Celtic.
So you love the patience in their attack. You love their willingness to pick their spot. They're not settling. Brave one-on-one when they see the opportunity. And not allowing a transition out. Really, really nice stuff. Very composed.
Megan Unbadach giving chase. It'll settle back at the feet of Katie Haskins. Jungbadach will go to her left.
You'll see St. Louis with their 2 and 3, especially their 2 out on the right side, are trying to figure out how they want to deal with the 3 up front from Utah.
Now a nice long run trying to set up Totleben. Totleben with space, just 2 to beat. Opportunity for an equalizer. And as Prusser into the box. Quickly doubled back, tries to beat the defender. Instead, Celtic come back up with the ball.
It's a very good defensive play, but you end up with an attacker who's all by herself in the box. You know, St. Louis has to continue to commit numbers. Force the Celtic midfield to do a lot more work.
Now poor pass going to give Lou Fusz a chance, and the effort from distance about 25 yards out. Just mishit off the turf. You often see with some of these rubber shavings, not able to get a real feel. Foot under the ball, and that one just pops a little bit and bounces back safely to the keeper.
You love the mentality of that, though. Again, from distance, we aren't going anywhere. We're going to try to hit the target. You love that. It didn't physically do what we wanted to do, but that's the right sign from the coach.
Now you see Lou Fusz bringing that high press and resulting in that foul to give Celtic the free kick.
And then you look at recovery, and now she's back into space all by herself. Yeah. Lou Fusz needs to decide how they want to defend this 4-3-3.
Also important to note that goal from Celtic's Anna Pickering now puts her at 4 goals for the tournament as well, so also possibly looking at a chance at that golden boot.
You know, the encouragement in U.S. soccer over the years for kids to be dynamic, be brave, especially in front of goal. To see a team in the national championship with two players with 4 goals is pretty incredible.
And our first stoppage in quite some time. We'll bring on a sub for Lou Fusz. This will be the attacking midfielder Morgan Orff, and coming off will be Mary Evans. So we'll see what fresh legs up top do for Lou Fusz, if it helps them again try to take that goal back.
But they can, if they're holding mid, can help figure out the system that Utah's using in the middle. You'd think you would free some players up to get forward, but the way they're switching just seems to have them 6s and 7s.
Now Lou Fusz Elam on the charge. Takes the switch, now looking for that long ball. Katie Haskins. Right now for Lou Fusz, they were holding a high line, trying to see if maybe they could get a bad deflection on a pass and turn a mistake into a goal. Instead, Celtic quickly the other way.
Lou Fusz is going to have to decide where they want to be. They're in between places defensively right now, and it's just much too easy for Celtic. They're just strumming the ball around.
Now, approaching the 18, another shot from distance, and the goal!
Great finish, out wide, come back across in front of the defenders and put it in the far post. Honestly, the number 6 for Lou Fusz has to play defense. Right now, she looks like she's in a Pirlo role where she's asking players in front of her to do the work. She's getting exposed, and they're down 2-0.
So the 21st minute, and it was in fact the defender committed to Denver, Jordan Crockett.
Jordan comes in, takes advantage of the overload, cuts in, and again, when you're dealing with college-type players, they're all dangerous.
Now a 2-goal deficit for Fusz Elam. Again, after 90 minutes on Wednesday, these teams finished a scoreless draw, and now new life for Celtic, 2-0.
You know, this Celtic team forces you to do work. You don't want to do it and spend all your energy chasing. But now you've given a team that can possess the ball 2 goals that you have to chase. It's going to be an uphill battle for sure.
Now, something we did see yesterday from Fusz, but it was at half breaks. They are going to sub their keeper in, Ashton Lee. She was the keeper in penalty to help propel them to victory, as the keeper having some struggles early on. 2 well-struck balls, though. Nothing against her, just perfectly placed by Celtic.
I think you and I would have an issue with the way those balls went in, both side netting or upper 90. You know, again, she has to get her players out. Sitting back and letting this Celtic team pick you apart today isn't going to be the answer.
Catherine Wynn trying to work her way up to the top of the 18. Deflects and recovers. And a foul in the 18-yard box and some mass substitutions, 3 for Celtic, as we will see Catherine Shermer come on. Past Camille Day. Also coming on for Celtic will be Sydney Bushman and Brecken Mazingo. And important to note for Brecken Mazingo,
we may have had an injury here with the Fusz keeper. I'm not being able to make the change.
She is limping gingerly off the field and shaking her head. But the sub for Celtic, Brecken Mazingo, number 13, the only player on the pitch, actually has had some US 17s, so it's going to be more uphill for Fusz than it has been through these first few minutes.
When a team gets to bring on a youth national team camp member as a sub, you are dealing with some serious issues. Again, there is just open space everywhere.
The end line, that is the sub, Brecken Mazingo. It's always good to see some of those national team players too, because there's so many tournaments. We just had last year the U15 girls international championship for CONCACAF. Now trying to find the net for the 3rd goal. And
it is the confidence they have around the box to pull the trigger and the placement. Each of these shots has been exactly where it needed to be, almost seeing eye into the side netting. Again, you can hear the Fusz coaching staff really demanding that their team step out to the ball. But Celtic has come out, they're giving a championship performance. This has been a devastating first 25 minutes.
so in the 25th minute, already 3-0. As Catherine Shermer, the late sub, getting that goal for.
You know what's important is that Fusz doesn't try to score 3 goals all at the same time. It's compose yourselves, rally the troops here, get the first one and build.
At it again, just cool, calm, collected, and tucks it into the near post. They're on that near post and just couldn't get a foot to keep it away. And just like that, the game is getting out of hand.
I think the Fusz staff really needs to portray some composure for their team. And they need to we need a captain's effort right now. Someone to stand up for Fusz and say, you know what, we've had enough. We'll get back to being who we can be.
And with that goal, Catherine Sherman now. That's her fifth. She was actually one of 3 players on the Celtic team, including Anna Pickering's. Sherman now in the lead for that Golden Boot with 5 goals on the tournament.
It's that reward for playing attacking soccer, right? You know, so now we're at 13 goals amongst 3 players. You've got to love it, and all credit to what the Celtic coaching staff is asking of their team. Put the ball down, play soccer, create chances. When you talk about what has to happen in a game, especially a championship game, the first thing is you have to physically give the effort to make the game go your way, whether it's setting the tone, matching the other team's tone, moving as the ball moves. And I think Fusz has been a step behind, especially in their last third. Again, out of pressure, a Celtic player gets a ball with no one on her and is able to turn. It's really amazing how they find these open spaces. But there you go. You saw a moment, right? They provide a little pressure, and it's never the first person that applies. It's second or third, and they're able to win it.
Quick throw in from Celtic to get things going again.
The other problem that's happening is 33 as the 9 is withdrawing into the midfield, and neither center back is joining that space. So now you're asking your holding mid to play in between their 6 and their 9, and both players are ending up open. And again, the answers are few and far between right now for Fusz.
Now the goal kick goes right back to Celtic. And substitutions coming for both sides. Rebecca Olsen for Celtic and Natalie Hand for Fusz.
What you really see is Celtic now getting to sub in a much different mentality. They're resting legs. They're sending players out there. It's like we're going to save our starters for the second half. Let's get them out as quick as we can. Whereas you see Fusz is trying to fill any leak they can right now, and it just gets more and more desperate. And unfortunately, as they come off the field, they're incredibly frustrated, as anybody would be down 3-0 in the national championship game.
Especially after already going toe-to-toe with the team.
Really, what's the difference, right? You were 0-0 for 90, and now all of a sudden we're 3 down and 25. Did my Cheerios not kick in?
Team once and play them to a scoreless draw. I mean, you've already seen everything they have to throw at you, and now to come out and be down 3 goals with a little over 60 minutes to play it's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
Well, I can share, if this was the type of soccer that Utah played the first game, that St. Louis had to put in a shift in overtime to keep them at bay, because the way they move the ball, the way that you have to look like an Atletico Madrid, really, to come and close this down. And here we are again.
Yeah, into the box, another goal for Shermer, just adding to her total. in the 32nd minute, just pouring it on.
What a great composed finish. In on her left, coming out, and really the splits in the defenders just being exploited. And again, all of it is on the ground, slipped balls, 2 feet. And it's really an impressive performance by Utah right now.
And for Celtic FC, and Shermer now pulling away in that golden boot category. And Lou Fusz just without any kind of answer.
Well, in this game, you hope there's a turnaround. You hope there's a second wind that they're going to find. But right now, Utah's running downhill, and it looks like it's getting harder and harder for the St. Louis team.
And for them, it's downhill into 15 mile an hour, 20 mile an hour wind gusts. This is supposed to be the side that it was going to be a little harder to get shots from outside of 10 yards to find the back of the net, and instead, just doing it with ease.
Absolutely. And again, with slipped balls, and you have another wide open player in the box.
Now Pastana sends someone forward, and Lindsley able to make the save.
Good deal. Hopefully that helps confidence a little bit for her too, to get subbed in and give up 2 quick ones. That's got to be a tough sight.
And with the 2 keepers, the coach for Lou Fusz was telling us that yesterday Ashton Lindsley was the one that came up in PKs and said, no, I want to be the keeper for the PKs, and was able to get them forward to this game. And penalties always a very odd thing. Some people are great at them, and some people you could be the best striker in the world and not know how to take a proper penalty or save a proper penalty. So
the best players in the world have missed. What was it in the Women's World Cup? England couldn't make a penalty kick or save their lives. Thank goodness for the U.S., by the way. But it's that confidence as a coach you're looking for as fellow teammates. Who really wants this?
4-0, that one going off the face of Morgan Orff. We're in the 34th minute of play, and it is 4-0 in favor of Celtic.
Again, no real pressure on the ball. This is token pressure. No one's touch tight. Every player can turn, take her time on the ball. St. Louis needs a second gear. 2 more subs coming in for them, hopefully, to answer that question.
As Peterson tries to clear it forward, gets into the wind and tracks out of play for the throw-in. And there you see Catherine Shermer, 2 goals on the day, 6 on the tournament, leading all scorers by 2 goals for that coveted golden boot.
Really, it's got to be the most difficult golden boot to win, because your team has to keep playing. You're playing better and better competition. The game means more, pressure's more, and really to show up, especially today. What a great performance in this first half.
Now trying to bolster that midfield, Lou Fusz will bring on Madeline Goodwin and Rachel Martin, as that will roll out for a Celtic throw. One of those things, Coach, you can also definitely see in the body language of Lou Fusz right now. They look like a team that's defeated, even though they still have plenty of time to play.
Yeah, they've lost those first 2 steps as they close down now. You would think, especially in the last 18 yards of the field, that they would be swarming really to nick anything, and it's just one player at a time defending, which is not going to get it done against a team this skillful.
Peterson completely unpressured in goal. Now working their way forward is Celtic.
Hey, Coach, if you look at these numbers, even in this attack, Lou Fusz, are we getting behind the ball? 1 or 2 players chasing, everybody else sitting and watching. And to their credit, Celtic just playing the song on their guitar. It is fun to watch this team play.
Now Peterson will get the scoop on the charge from Lou Fusz. And Jamie Totleben.
That's too easy out. I realize either you need to pull your 9 back and not have her waste that energy, or everybody has to step forward. It's just not good enough from Lou Fusz right now.
Now some pressure around midfield, as Celtic will again work it through their back line and their keeper, Chelsea Peterson. She'll come dangerously off her line. Again,
to be fair, Coach, we're at walking pace right now. And again, 10 yards with nobody on her. You love that play. Well done, good vision.
And with that 4-goal lead, Celtic can be confident to hold it with their defenders. Little contact on the Celtic attacking half, and that ball will trickle out for a throw-in for Celtic.
Coach, right now when that ball went out of play, there is at least 60 yards between the 9 for Lou Fusz and their last defender. That is not going to be a situation that you're going to be successful against this team that needs space to play, and you're giving it to them.
Mazingo works it to her left, and that will track out for a throw-in.
The composure, the technique of this Utah team, it really is different class today.
Have not been defeated all week, and looking to hold off for another half and hoist the U.S. Youth Soccer Cup.
They have to be enjoying themselves because they spend most of their time facing the goal, running at people.
Now
just
forward. This has Rebecca Olson. About 20-plus yards out, and then passes to her right to Sydney Bushman, working her way toward the end line. An opportunity to cross. That one gets into the box. Almost a handball against Lou Fusz. Working it back out is Brecken Mazingo.
And again, players a Utah player is able to get the ball and get a touch on the box without anybody within 3 yards. They're really having fun in this game.
Headed forward, trying to find Shermer, looking for a hat trick. Now Mazingo into the 18-yard box, tripped up, and the shot just going wide off the side netting and post behind the face of goal.
Of all the chances they had, that might have been the easiest one. But again, the killer instinct. I love that about Utah right now. They aren't trying to sit back. They said, if you're going to give us a chance to go, we're going to take them. We're going to continue to move forward. Here's some space, and that's the mentality change in the St. Louis team. A girl wide open by herself plays the ball backwards instead of pushing the game.
That one chested down by Sydney Bushman. Possible chance as Totleben works her way into the 18-yard box. Splits two defenders, tries to get forward, just loses her footing, but again, new signs of life for Lou Fusz.
Really excellent to see her dribble into the box, see her get after a little bit. Now be brave enough to take a hit. At 4-0, take a chance.
And now dispossessed. This by the captain, Kaylee Casper. And you see the Celtic head coach, and as far as defensive strategies go, we had a chance to talk to Steve Magleby, and I had asked him if they had looked at Wednesday's game, the scoreless draw, and reviewed it to see what they could have done differently. He said they hadn't, whereas Lou Fusz, they said they watched the game and dissected it to see where they can find it. So two totally different tape strategies in reviewing an opponent you've already faced. Seems to be working out for Celtic a little better right now.
Well, I think if this is who Steve's team really is, you know why he didn't look at that film. He knows who they are and knows what they can do, especially against this opponent. It just didn't go their way, apparently. But again, so many pieces both coaches have to deal with. fatigue, injury results.
Now Prusser. Up to her right, top of the 18, and then quickly dispossessed by Celtic.
And quite honestly, that's the difference in the two teams there. At the Celtic end, you have players running and winning that ball from behind. At the end of the field, we don't quite get that recovery.
And temperature going up just a little bit here in Overland Park. We'll see how that affects some of the fatigue later in the second half.
Well, absolutely. It's at least 20 to 30 degrees hotter down on that turf. Fortunately, the breeze is hopefully blowing some of that off for the players. But this halftime, with limited shade and whatnot, how are the coaches going to prepare?
Now Celtic, again, trying to work their way forward and extend their already enormous lead. Now forward, the shot, that one just wide.
Well, if you're Lou Fusz, it gives you some hope they're human. The first 4 goals they couldn't miss.
And there you see the coaching staff for Lou Fusz and Mike Elam. Again, even though they're trailing by 4, still nothing to hang your heads about. Only one team gets to call themselves national champions out of the thousands of clubs in the U.S. that try to take part in this competition every year.
Well, and absolutely, they're here. And I imagine Coach Elam's got something at halftime. He's got to throw a little, what do they say, monkey in the wrench here to see what these young ladies can do to turn their fortunes around. For me, Coach, you may even consider going 3 at the back just because Celtic is content to play at feet and they aren't playing in behind as much. If that would give you some pressure, you could deny the slip service out of the midfield. That may be something to consider for them going into the second half. And
Totleben there giving chase and helping draw the corner kick. And with the way this wind is blowing, very dangerous.
This could bend in easily if we get some service.
It looks like, in fact, it was just the throw-in. Looked like the center official had initially signaled for a corner.
It's good to see this level of composure now for Lou Fusz at the end of the half. Something definitely to build on, especially if they can get a shot on goal, maybe even sneak one into the halftime.
And now the 4th official holding up. It will be 3 minutes added in the first half. That means just a couple more chances for Lou Fusz to try to at least chip away from this 4-goal deficit they find themselves in.
You hear the coaches, they're getting louder. They know these last 3 minutes could really change their fortune.
That one just getting away from Rebecca Olsen, allowing quick counter. Totleben trying to find space, lines up a shot and right into the hands of Chelsea Peterson. Excellent effort from the future Hoosier, but still 4-0.
It's a great sign of life. And it's really fantastic to see them coming back and having that fight at the end of this first half.
They take a look at that again. Great moves, trying to get around 2 defenders and just putting it on target and into the hands of Chelsea Peterson.
They're able to pull Lou Fusz out of position, though, in that outlet pass. And now we're off again.
Now Olsen, plenty of space. Now Astley back for Shepard. Space toward the top of the 18, taken down, gets the pass away. Now Pestana trying to work her way through and find some kind of shot or a cross, and safely cleared away.
I will tell you what's been important about that last little bit is that's the first time Lou Fusz has participated in the defending. They actually got people onto people. The ball didn't allow a shot.
Now Celtic with the moments of the first half winding down, maybe trying to get one more. Don't know if you can necessarily call it an insurance goal, but now Shermer looking possibly for a hat trick or an assist right there. Instead, be cleared away by Greta Seal.
Blood is in the water. She likes scoring goals, and to see her change pace really in the box, that's exciting stuff. Again, it's getting hot. They're up 4.
Astley trying to set up Pastana, but the center referee will blow her whistle, and that is how we will end after 45 minutes of play. 4-0 goals from Anna Pickering, Jordan Crockett, and 2 from Catherine Shermer, her 5th and 6th of the tournament. Leads Celtic, leading Lou Fusz 4-0. We'll have a recap and some highlights for you momentarily. You're watching the U.S. Youth Soccer U19 Girls National Championship on ESPN. And welcome back to the Shields Overland Park Soccer Complex. First half, Celtic 4, Lou Fusz Elam 0. As we have some first half highlights there, you see some of the fans that have traveled here to Overland Park, Kansas. And again, we had some great opportunities early on. Lou Fusz getting one of the first opportunities, but saved by Chelsea Peterson. But then from the 13th minute on, it was all Celtic. The first goal coming off the foot of Anna Pickering. And that would start the scoring for Celtic, and it would continue, and pretty consistently. Next up would be Jordan Crockett, the defender that's getting ready to go to Denver University in the 21st minute. And then Catherine Shermer, who is tied with 4 goals for the lead in the tournament, and then she would get her first in the 25th minute, and then she would add to that total in the 33rd minute. She would get one more. And there you see it, and that would be the decider. 4-0, a couple of shots and opportunities as well. There you see another chance, and that one just going wide right. And then the last one from Jamie Totleben that almost got one back for Lou Fusz. We will have another men's recap and an Open Cup video for you. This is the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. And here we see the recap from the men's U19 game that saw Lehigh Valley United scoreless after 90 minutes, and then a late substitution in the first added extra time period as they would go on to win 1-0. And there you see the celebration from that late sub for Lehigh Valley. That is how that game would end. 1-0, your U19 boys national champions. And then there would still be some other chances, but that would be it. Lehigh Valley hosts the U19 boys trophy, as now we wait to see who will win between Celtic and Lou Fusz. And we will now get some history on the trophy that they are holding.
It was 1935, the year that Elvis and Sandy Koufax were born. It was a year of many firsts, including the first NFL draft, the first Monopoly board game went on sale, Social Security began, and Babe Ruth hit his last home run. In addition to these milestones, the National Junior Challenge Cup was founded in 1935, offering a youth competition for young men in the United States. The cup was later named the James P. McGuire Cup, after the late U.S. soccer president, who himself was quite a standout in his earlier days, winning the U.S. Open Cup in 1929. McGuire would lead U.S. soccer and earn an international reputation as an excellent leader.
The Jim McGuire Cup was started in 1935. It was the only cup that the United States Soccer Federation had for youth players. And it was a very good competition, and I can tell you, I mean, this was the highlight of my soccer career to be a champion in 1954.
This storied cup, now the oldest trophy in youth sport.
It has a history, it has a meaning, I think it has tradition. So I think it's extremely important for our competitions, for all the age groups that kind of emulate the McGuire Cup.
Winning the McGuire Cup is huge, just because all that history that comes along with the oldest trophy in youth sports period. That's really big for us.
Who will write their name in the next chapter of the storied McGuire Cup?
And welcome back to the Shields Overland Park Soccer Complex in Overland Park, Kansas. Alongside the coach Nate Hauser, I am Ryan Sudol with you for the next 45 minutes of action. Celtic FC up 4-0 over Lou Fusz. Saw some signs of life at the end of the first half, coach, for Lou Fusz, but for the most part, since that 13th minute on, it's been all Celtic.
Celtic really put the pedal down and started connecting passes and really found the splits and played in between the lines and took advantage of it.
So for the second half, again, Celtic wearing their black jerseys, white numerals, attacking from right to left, this time with the aid of the 10 to 20 mile an hour wind gusts that we've been facing here in Overland Park, Kansas. So it'll be interesting to see how their attack changes with a little help from Mother Nature.
I think all things are really going to depend on Lou Fusz and how they've organized their pressure. It looks like they've gone to a diamond a little bit in the midfield here, possibly.
And now starting with that high press for Lou Fusz, not allowing Celtic to get in their attacking half. We'll see how much that tenacity and how long that can last.
What beautiful ball movement. Find the open player. These are the moments Lou Fusz needs, these transition moments. Can they take advantage? And
Carson Cole, and working their way down the Left wing with the help of Rachel Martin. Now back for Cole. Trying to curve it around the outstretched leg of Brecken Mazingo.
The pace already that Lufuse is knocking the ball around is much different than the first half. That's a very positive sign.
Now Mazingo trading with Kennedy Jex, and now they'll try and work through the midfield circle. Give and go, Pickering giving chase, and that will just go out past touch.
It will be interesting to see that the Celtic 7 and 11s have been able to pull the 2s and 3s of Lufuse out of position, and again, you saw that right there. They come to check, they bring the defender, and there's space to get in behind. Hopefully Lufuse has figured out that answer.
Now back for Peterson for Celtic. They'll work back toward the near side touchline, and now closer to the midfield circle. Now Mazingo with the nutmeg, able to get through Carson Cole. Working her way into the 18-yard box. Mazingo takes a nice touch in front of the face of goal, and a last-second deflection. Now Pickering tries to usher forward, and now trying to flick it past the keeper, Lindsley. Still working now. Mazingo, top of the 18-yard box, left-footed shot, and buries it. In the 49th minute of play, Brecken Mazingo turns, touches, fires, and finishes.
That is the confidence of a 4-0 lead. It started all the way back here when she checked into space, got the ball, threw it through the defender's legs, and had her run at goal. You have to say it's deserved by her. That mentality, and what a strike.
And there you see why number 13 for Celtic gets some looks from that U.S. Youth National side. Almost on her heels, completely off balance, just firing her leg forward and tucking it in under that upper 90 and extending that lead to 5-0 for Celtic. And a chance to possibly do it again. Works her way into the 18-yard box, chance to cross, left foot, and then cleared away from the penalty spot, but out for a corner kick. And with this wind gusting the way it is right now, yesterday Lufuse showed some susceptibility against set pieces, especially from corners, so a very dangerous chance here for Celtic as well.
The height of the Celtic girls coming in is going to be an issue. But again, as you look at 13 and her technique, even that driven cross, it's just different class.
Instead, they opt for the short corner into the box and then safely cleared away. Samantha Brady with the dart trying to get that across the face of goal. Celtic will keep possession in their attacking half. Now a chance to reset as they send it back to the keeper, Chelsea Peterson.
Well, and you have one team that wants the field to be small. The other team's happy with it being as big as it can be.
Now Lufuse.
You can see, though, the moment in transition, almost too many touches. Make a decision, run at somebody, be brave.
So Celtic, and working from the back, but plenty of space to create in their own half. And trying to work it forward. Abigail Graham loses track of it, recovers. Back to Mazingo. And working through that back line, that is Jordan Crockett. She got the goal back in the 21st minute that put Celtic up 2-0. And now taken down about 25 yards out. Rachel Martin called for the foul. Have yet to see any bookings. It's been all the tackles have been fairly unintentional or
clean. But if you can have a clean foul, there you go.
So
no one's trying to hurt anybody out here.
So now we'll see what Jordan Crockett tries to do.
Fortunately, only 2 in the wall from this distance. That's
from 25 yards out. Crockett just puts it over the bar in the hands of Ashton Lindsley.
You've got to say, if you went for halftime talks, Celtic had the better halftime speech. Let's continue to get after them and continue it. You just really start to hope that Lou Fusz can put a couple moments together here, so they get something out of this game.
And just fighting for possession, Celtic. So calm, cool, and collected. Able to come away with the ball.
The composure, incredible. Under pressure, touch tight, no problem. I'll take it again.
And Lou Fusz kind of easing off of that full press, allowing Celtic to get to that midfield line. Now Bushman has Graham. Now the cross. Lindsley comes off her line and able to corral it and still keep this just a 5-goal deficit for the side from St. Louis. Now trying to look and find some space to counter, but they have been almost possible at getting penetration into that final third.
As you watch the runs and you watch, it's almost as if Celtic's taking turns into the final third. You go, I go. But again, the defensive work their front 3 do has been really, really good.
Mary Evans trying to send a Lou Fusz player into space. They track that into the corner and keep it in the field of play.
You see again, being patient, swinging the ball, not being in a hurry, the composure to play it around your own end.
And there may be the deflection that Lou Fusz was looking for. They have numbers. They set up Mary Evans. Had some space. Opts to head back. And now Carson Cole. Room to work into the corner. Rachel Martin fires. Headed out. Lou Fusz keeps it in. Rachel Martin down that near side touchline. Now Courtois up for Totleben.
That's well done. You had some composure here, playing out of pressure at midfield. They were able to get up. They lost one, won it directly back, and were able to get in the box. This is good. Can they build on these moments?
So the corner kick coming for Lou Fusz. Wind blowing directly away from the face of goal. And this will be Samantha Courtois going to play club soccer at Mizzou. And we'll have the outswinger. And we'll see if Lou Fusz can connect from this set piece. Gets under it. Blowing towards the top of the 6. It gets through and almost finds the back of the net. And what a save by Peterson.
Wow, pretty incredible stuff. They finally get a chance in the box. It may be Celtic's day the way that ball bounced just out past the post.
Lou Fusz with 2 nice opportunities at goal. One off the leg of Courtney Vollmer. And there you just see the excellent defensive stance.
Yeah, that clearance back to the top of the box there, less than ideal.
And coming on for Lou Fusz, Morgan Orff coming on to spell Madeline Goodwin in this second half. As Lou Fusz looks to keep that pressure on from that last set piece. And you could hope that it would find them some momentum to at least get one goal.
That was 22, not 2. This is a really great spell for Lou Fusz.
Now the cross into the box. Gets away from Peterson, but a little too much contact from Samantha Courtois and draws the foul on the keeper.
Again, the Lou Fusz staff has to love this bit of the play. This is probably who they really are, rather than what we've seen so far. Aggressive, having the ball, changing the point of attack, and really competing.
Take a look again. Again, another nice opportunity. 3 great chances for Lou Fusz after giving up that 5th goal.
This is great pressure by Lou Fusz, keeping Celtic in.
Now trying the effort from distance and puts it on target.
Again, signs of confidence. It's growing.
And there you see the dispossession, the interception. Lou Fusz keeps it up, but then quickly given back away to Celtic. Totleben draws some contact. Center official says it was clean.
This is a whole new Lou Fusz team. This is fantastic. A fantastic reaction to that last goal.
Off the back of Mary Evans, and a fortunate bounce. Trying to set up Samantha Courtois at the top of the 18 and nothing doing.
Again, there's a big space between the Lou Fusz defenders and their midfield, and every time Celtic pops into that space to relieve pressure. It's the next solution that needs to happen here for Lou Fusz as they climb back into this game.
Mary Evans bringing pressure, trying to force the turnover, and it will go back for Carson Cole. But it is the dangerous Brecken Mazingo. Lindsley able to clear it towards midfield. But now it is Samantha Brady. The top of the 18 sends out wide. Has Pickering looking for her 2nd goal of the afternoon. Into the corner and cleared away by Courtney Vollmer.
What's incredible is after weathering the spell for the last 4 or 5 minutes down their end, Celtic can come right back up, pop into those open spaces, and again be dangerous. And now we're sitting right back on top of Lou Fusz.
Abigail Graham. The throw will stay with Celtic, and a couple Lou Fusz players upset about that call. Now that Celtic midfield working around the center referee, Megan Mullen.
It's starting to bubble up now. A little frustration is going to come out.
And
but again, every time Lou Fusz tries to come out, a Celtic player is there to provide pressure.
Courtois creating her own space. Now Celtic just suffocating them in their defensive third.
And they've left their 9 in between 4 up top. The eggs are in one basket here.
Cole trying to work around Brenken Mazingo. Now some space, and then the pass just getting away from the Lou Fusz defender. And now you'll start to see some of that fatigue set in from the heat and the running around for right around an hour.
Well, and I think the quality of the athlete on the Celtic team is forcing Lou Fusz to really exhaust a ton of energy. When they've got 3 or 4 players that can go around the outside.
Now Brady trying to center one for Abigail Graham. Still keeping the pressure. And then one back. Mazingo dispossessed as Mary Evans able to find some space. Now the rush trying to play the win to get Totleben forward. And back for Peterson.
You love the mentality. You'd hope that the left back could get involved rather than play again into pressure and in behind it, because Totleben hasn't been able to separate from those center backs today. Not in behind. Again, and the temperature, it's getting hotter.
And could just hear Rachel Martin, I believe, look at her bench and say she can't breathe. And again, the heat, and you can see as the Lou Fusz players come to the 4th officials table, they're, even the subs coming in, just look not just physically defeated, but also emotionally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it was a full effort that was needed from the first whistle to overcome 4, now 5 goals, it's that character revealing moment about you. Who are you? I think they've done a great job after the 5th goal to come and really try to impose themselves and make a mark.
Totleben tries to force a corner kick. They'll have to settle for the throw. With some space in the 18-yard box, and then cleared out by Celtic. Lou Fusz Elam doing everything they can to try to keep that pressure on and find a scoring opportunity.
And again, this is what you would have said. Where is this an hour ago in the game? The composure of the Celtic team, though, faced with a little bit of pressure, no problem.
As we approach noon local time, the 5-0 the lead, Celtic FC over Lou Fusz Elam. And now Mazingo completely unmarked, just a little bit of a miscommunication in that lead pass to get her sent into the box, and it goes out for the Lou Fusz throw.
You're hoping that gets caressed with your left foot back into play rather than the inside of your right, so it bends out of play, especially when you have a player that could just run straight to goal.
Also one of the effects of having this artificial turf surface, because very rarely do you get a unearthly bounce.
Yeah, the usual grass caressing for you is not there.
Now Celtic still bringing that full press, allows Lou Fusz to get some space. And now trying to counter.
In transition, you watch what teams do in the first 2 or 3 seconds. Is it we want to possess it or we want to attack? And Celtic will not let Lou Fusz attack in those first 3 seconds, and it's making it so difficult.
Now Celtic building from their defensive half as Totleben steps up to try and bring some pressure, force an error.
Unfortunately, she looks up and sees that she's got to now pressure the other 40 yards. I love her effort. I love that she's got that heart to keep running. She needs some help.
Now Celtic quick on the break, looking for just a little tight pass was Jamie Shepard, and gets away from her, and Lou Fusz will keep it in.
Better for Lou Fusz right there, much better.
Good first touch by Courtois. And Celtic backs off and retreats into their defensive half. Courtois finds space.
Great run in between the lines there.
Totleben. First touch gets away from her. She stays with it and tries to fire one from the corner of the 18. Hoping maybe for a deflection or have it bounce off the hands of Peterson. It's good to see some Lou Fusz attackers trailing on that last play.
So here's your concern as a coach. You love what Totleben is doing out wide to go get the ball, but who is she going to play it to? Now she's 1 versus 3 out wide. Again, trying to get the machine to work properly. This is what you hope for with this substitution here as they bring the captain back on.
And that is Kaylee Kasberg, hoping to shore up that Lou Fusz defense. Great ball control by Jamie Shepard. She sends it back to Unbedach in the midfield circle. Forward looking for Abigail Graham. Now intercepted by Lou Fusz, trying to find their first goal.
Totleben, great job coming back, but forced to work so hard.
And also prior to yesterday's contest, they had not conceded a goal all tournament. So 2 yesterday and now 5 today.
The rigors of the tournament, the rise in level of competition.
As Totleben trying to bring pressure in the boxes. That one will skip back for Natalie Hanrahan. Unfortunately, Totleben was not able to check back up onside and would have had no chance at that ball.
If you're a Lou Fusz player, unfortunately, many of us have been in a game where we've been behind it like this. Each one of those connected passes is like a needle in a slow death.
And now Courtois will try to bring some pressure. Stepping forward, a little bit of contact, no whistle. And back to the keeper, Peterson.
And that's what we can't do. We can't let them out back the other way.
Now Celtic looking to get back on the offensive. A little soft on the pass from Abigail Graham. However, Celtic, as they've been able to do all morning and now into the afternoon, they recover nicely.
You love what's going on here on the Lou Fusz bench. They've come to life to cheer their teammates on. Something is to be said about that kind of team culture. You gotta love it.
And they will call the foul against Abigail Graham as they take down Kaylee Kasberg, the Lou Fusz captain. Deflects off Mozingo. And now the wind has shifted a little, where it was blowing from the north to the south, right to left on your screen, now blowing directly towards the stands and away from you. Now the takeaway from Lou Fusz.
He loved the life. They're starting to play 2-3 players at a time. Just need to finish the last pass.
Walking the ball up the pitches, Celtic, and nice turn by Unbedak. Well, give and go down that far touchline between Pickering and Catherine Wynn. And out pass touch for the throw and another substitution for Celtic. We'll see Rebecca Olsen come back on.
The last 17 minutes, you know, as each coach gives a drastically different measure. Celtic, hold it, you know, be good, take a chance. If you get it, fight hard. Lou Fusz, let's get after it and get one back and maybe start something special.
Also, this will be Catherine Shermer coming back on for Celtic. She scored goals back in the 25th and 33rd minutes, so looking to complete her hat trick in a national championship. Not something that many soccer players get to do at any level of playing.
You wonder in a game with a tighter scoreline she'd get that chance.
Now Mazingo finds Spaeth. Samantha Brady lays off, now into the 18-yard box. Looking for a cross. Fancy dribbling, gets it back to Brady, works her way back toward the center, takes the shot, takes a deflection, and goes into the back of the net.
Fortune favors the brave. Even if it wasn't the perfect hit, it's at the goal, it's with confidence, and you get the benefit of a bounce. It's a national champions day.
6-0 the score. Samantha Brady getting her 5th of the tournament. I would anticipate that the shot was on target before taking the deflection, so they'll probably credit her with the goal as opposed to the own goal. Also subbing on Catherine Joswiakowski for Lou Fusz. 6-0 in this U.S. Youth Soccer U19 Girls National Championship contest. And just about 15 minutes of play remaining. Again, in almost all the semifinals yesterday, we had added extra time with tied score lines after 90 minutes. Don't anticipate it, but stranger things have happened.
It's been one of those days. You can't explain it other than one team came out here and was able to impose themselves and continue to impose themselves throughout the first 75 minutes so far.
The shot and the diving save by Peterson looks like it may have been right towards that near post. Again, just none of the bounces going the way of Lou Fusz.
Again, tough. You get pulled out of what you want to do. You get pulled out of your game, and you start chasing, and the rhythm is near impossible, and the mountain seems to get higher. To their credit, though, they haven't quit. They have spirit on the bench and on the field.
So we'll see Megan Astley come on, as well as Elena Pistana. And that will probably be the last we see of the U.S. Youth National talent, Brenken Mozingo. And Celtic just needs to hold off and do what they've done for the first 75 minutes and continue that through the final 15, and they will be your U19 girls U.S. Youth Soccer National Champions.
Amazing, but still the effort, still the fight from both teams, no matter the score line. It's great to see that they respect the event, respect the day, to continue to play.
Catherine Wynn. Now you see the ferocity and the desperation coming from Lou Fusz, finding that little extra gear when they need to. And now going, Coach, into the final few minutes of the game, does that mentality of almost knowing that it's highly unlikely that you'll come back to try and tie the score, but how important would it be for them just to even be able to find a goal in this final few minutes?
I think you've traveled to the final. It might not have gone your way to this point, but that doesn't mean that it can't. That, you know what, you're now looking to win the next 5 minutes. Can you win the last 10 minutes of that game? Because you really, these are all competitors, and none of them are going to give up on this. So it's just resetting your goal-setting mentality.
Evans sets up Joe Zwiatkowski, trying to get her into the corner. And Celtic quick to bear down on them and regain possession.
Just the composure of the two center backs has been unbelievable. They don't give in to pressure. So calm. They make great decisions with discipline. It's really allowed the rest of the Celtic team to expand and exploit spaces in amongst the Lou Fusz defense. Reminds me, there's a famous old coach named Davy Phillips. Talked about defense, composure of defending, and really this has been an example of that from the Celtic team.
Now Pastana trying to keep it from tracking out, and it will be the goal kick for Fusz Elam. Trailing 6-0 in the 80th minute. Very quick on the restart. And so far goals from Anna Pickering, Samantha Brady, Brecken Mazingo, Jordan Crockett, and Catherine Shermer, who's currently on the field, looking to possibly complete that hat trick.
The continued patience of the Celtic team here, continue to value possession. Hamelnaki, just well coached, excellent stuff. Disciplined players, understand the moments, when to take a chance.
And Astley taking a chance there and able to get two hands to it as Ashton Lindsley. Just keep it at 6, but great save on a great shot. There, the missed touch there, looking for Totleben. And just towed away by Sydney Bushman. And we'll take a look at that last effort from Astley. You can see some of the movement in the ball going toward goal. There you see the pass from Courtney Vollmer, but into completely wide open space and nobody there.
A little hopeful, but again, it's good to see her making mistakes going forward if we're gonna make them. It's Incredible when you sub on one of the leading goal scorers of the tournament here in the second half of the second half.
And we'll see if she can complete it. As Celtic now on the charge, Rebecca Olsen. Lead pass for Wynn.
What's incredible is we may have been penalty kicks away from a performance like this.
And both teams having late leads in semifinals yesterday and conceding after the 85th minute. The 88th for Lou Fusz, and the 93rd was the game-tying goal against this Celtic side. And after that scary result in 30 minutes of added extra time and penalty kicks, they decided coming into this championship that was not another feeling they wanted to go through.
I imagine if there was ever a wake-up call, that might have been the biggest one ever, right? The skin of your teeth. And then what's even more incredible is to have the energy, composure, patience, technique on day 6 of this event to do what they've done today. Incredible.
And now Shermer steps over. Just one to beat and the keeper. Shermer puts the shot up, and what a save by Ashton Lindsley, preventing the hat trick from Kate Shermer.
That was a very, very good save. Held her ground, made the goal as small as she could.
We take a look at it again. Shermer one-on-one, very tight angle. Lindsley diving to her left, getting a hand to it. And now Totleben one-on-one, a chance for Lou Fusz, and she just sends it over the bar. A little too eager on that effort, and out for the goal kick.
You really have to respect Lou Fusz getting in, and Totleben putting that effort all the way down now into the 84th minute of a game like this. You almost wish she hit the target and gave herself a chance.
Sometimes the goals that look like they could be the best chances end up being the biggest misses. And an unfortunate one there for Jamie Totleben.
I know she's kicking herself because she just saw one go in off her own defender at the other end. How can she make that happen for her team?
And still chances for Lou Fusz in these late goings. And they try an effort from distance. This one curling with the wind and into the back of the net. Jessica Prusser from at least 25 yards out finds the top corner. You saw it bend with the wind and sneak past Chelsea Peterson for the first time. 6-1.
I think the term they use is from way downtown. It took a little deflection. But again, great mentality.
And the bouncing ball, see it get up into the wind, and no chance for Chelsea Peterson. Again, you can't score if you don't shoot, and right there, Jessica Prusser took her shot. And now a chance for Shermer quickly from the penalty spot, and hats off to Kate Shermer. Just moments later in the 86th minute, she gets a hat trick in the national championship.
What an answer. What an answer. Straight down the field. It's almost like they kicked the bear and woke it up, and all of a sudden, right back at them.
7-1 Celtic. 2 goals in 2 minutes on opposing sides.
Just when you thought we were gonna walk this one in, both teams wake up and say, "Yeah, we're not done quite yet."
And you can still see the urgency on both sides, still playing press and running full, even though it looks like Celtic is going to walk away as your national champions. Still, Lou Fusz with this late charge, looking for another goal, and that one skips away and gets a deflection off the Celtic defender and out for the corner kick.
Again, if you're Lou Fusz, you're thinking about the last 15 minutes.
And there you see that look for that Kate Shermer goal.
So composed as she comes in. that's the difference in finishing, right? Lieben over the top on the breakaway.
Now
Shermer
cross
tucked in.
into the box. An opportunity, another chance at a shot in the back line for Celtic. Stands firm, but now quickly dashing down the field, Tara Warner. Had a chance to find Shermer. She checks back up onside. Into the 18, looking for goal number 4, skips it through, and finishing onside is Megan Astley. And pouring it on in the 88th minute, it's 8-1.
A devastating counterattack off the corner kick. Lou Fusz plays it, defenders on their knees to block shots, and then just a sprint down. You're looking at, couldn't have been more than a 7-second counterattack where you see it in the back of the net. Clinical, absolutely clinical.
And there you see just that charge, and to have that kind of energy and speed this late in the game, and an absolute testament to Celtic's conditioning.
And what you don't see often is a player on a hat trick unselfish enough to lay one across, where she could have tried to put that in the roof herself, lays it to her teammate. Pretty special stuff.
So Tara Warner, and now the Celtic defenders. You'll see some pressure coming from Lou Fusz. And still trying to work their way upfield, but anticipate them just trying to probably park it in the corner if they get back into the attacking half.
Well, that's just it. I don't even know if they're playing in a way where they would go to the corner. They're able to kill the game off here with the ball in their final third.
89th minute of play. Final moments of the U.S. Youth Soccer U19 Girls National Championship. Neither of these teams having a loss on their records coming into today. The only blemish, the 0-0 draw. They each got the result against each other. That game on Wednesday. And on Sunday, it seems Celtic has made the adjustment to take down Lou Fusz and be national champions.
Did you say adjustment, Coach? I'm going to find out what they had for breakfast and order that every day.
Now into the 18-yard box. Drops back. And a shot from outside the 18. That one will skip past Ashton Lindsley and out for the goal kick.
You know, you may have people watching and they said, "Oh, why don't they just keep it? Why don't they get back?" And I argue this: they're giving Lou Fusz the respect of their best effort for all 90 minutes, and I think as a fellow competitor and champion, that's what you want when you're out there.
Also, a conversation that was had in the U.S. Women's 13-0 victory in the group stage at the Women's World Cup. So. Again, I don't think anyone's going to accuse Celtic of running up a score. When you've made it to a national championship, all opponents should expect your full effort.
Absolutely.
Now winding it down is Pistana.
Wow.
Up top, Olsen with some great moves and sneaks it over Lindsley's head. In the first minute of added time, Rebecca Olsen, just a little bit of a shuffle and an off-balance poke, and gets over the head of Ashton Lindsley.
You know, it's everybody gets a chance to make a memory, and it's really exciting to see different players step up, take chances, score goals.
9-1 is the score. And there you see her. Rebecca Olsen has been instrumental on the wings in helping get some of those crosses in for Celtic. And they're deciding to take one herself and put the cherry on top of this great game for Celtic FC.
While you've seen a few players step up with 2 and 3 goals, it's been a team effort, though. I think almost on every movement, every player's touched the ball for Celtic, which is even more incredible with their performance today. Now
you can see Lou Fusz kind kind of taking that press off and now bringing it. Maybe a chance to get one more before time expires here in Overland Park.
Well, as you wonder, this is my question about extra time. Why do we have extra time right now? Blow the whistle, let someone celebrate, keep people from getting injured.
Especially, we talked earlier about the possibility of getting into college and possibly spraining an ankle. Going into your freshman year, not something a new coach, in fact, one of the best players for Lou Fusz, was held back from her college coach, but there it is, the final whistle. And Celtic FC are your U.S. Youth Soccer U19 Girls National Champions. 9-1 your final score. And coach, just an absolutely dominating performance from the opening whistle.
Absolutely. They came out with a mission. They'd seen their opponent before. Their coaching staff said, you know what, we're going to be who we are. We're not going to look at the film, but we're going to just go back and really answer the problems the way we want to. And it was unbelievably successful today. Hats off to them. A
phenomenal game from Celtic. They head back to Orem, Utah as national champions. Anna Pickering started off the goal scoring in the 13th minute, and then there would be goals all throughout. Jordan Crockett in the 21st. Catherine Shermer getting her first of her hat trick in the 25th. Another goal by her in the 33rd. And that would do it for the first half, and then the second half they would just come out firing. Brecken Mazingo in the 49th. And then you had goals from Samantha Brady in the 74th. Catherine Shermer closing out the hat trick in the 86th. And then Megan Astley in the 88th. Rebecca Olson in the 91st for Lou Fusz. Just one in the 85th minute off the leg of Jessica Pruser, but probably one of the most impressive goals we saw from well over 25 yards out, sneaking in to the top corner. And there you see the handshakes and heads held high for Celtic FC. Just absolutely one of the most dominating performances we saw here. And just when you look back at that Wednesday game of the 0-0 draw between the exact same two teams that we just saw play here on the field, what a turnaround Celtic has made in the last few days.
You know, when you have a group of athletes and they continue to come together, sometimes you have to survive that bump, that hiccup of a game. And really, if this is the team that we saw, maybe they left a few chances out and giving. But my hat's also off to Lou Fusz, who didn't give up today. That their goal didn't come just in the first minute, but it came towards the end because they kept battling. Absolutely a tip of the hat to their effort today.
And that will do it here in Overland Park, Kansas, the end of a fantastic week of soccer. And there you see your champions, Celtic FC, out of Orem, Utah, joined by some of their other academy teams that are here, as well as friends and family surrounding them. Just an absolutely incredible day of soccer here in Kansas. So for my analyst, the coach Nate Hauser, I am Brian Sudol saying so long from Shields Overland Park Soccer Complex. Final score 9-1. All games airing on ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been an